The old giant staircase.
My name is Aki Abe. I own a record store called Cosmos Records on Queen Street West.
What made you want to open the store?
I was a DJ back in the 80s, so I've always been familiar with records and music. I used to go back and forth to Japan. My family's from Japan, and there was a big market of records over there already, brewing in the 80s and late 80s and early 90s. That's when I started. So I took note of that, and when I came back here, it was a natural progression. You know, I had a lot of records around me all the time, so I opened a record store, and that was back in 1998.
What does physical media mean to you?
Something that I can touch, something that I can hold on to, something that I own, not just flip through. I like the smell of things, you know, that's like vintage, right, obviously. And something that I can't just easily pass it to somebody, give it to somebody. I own it, so they have to sacrifice something for them to get what I have. That's how I look at it. Physical media, people want to own things, you know, because maybe it's because of the phone generation, you know, you don't really own anything. You're just really looking at images on your hand. So, you know, percentage of the population, like we're all human beings, you know, we want to own things. We want to be able to, you know, gather things. We're naturally animals, right? We want to gather, we want to own, you want to cultivate. So that's what physical media is. And I think with the information that's out there from the internet, you know, you can see the options, you can see the possibilities of what you can own, and people want to go and get it. So I think physical media is a great thing, and I think in my experience it's expanding. It's an expanding world. Quality is based on uniqueness and authenticity with music. So when you hear something that you've already heard before and people are copying it, right, then it's not authentic. They're just copying. They're fraud, right? It's like Drake or Justin Bieber, whatever. It's fraud, right? And I think the key is keeping things authentic, you know, because anything that's authentic lives forever, right? So if we can keep things authentic in the stores, like all the stores, then yeah, I think it will stick around for a long time.
I'm Brian Hamlin, I'm the co-owner of the Silver Snail.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't really know what the alternative is of being like born and in a world where you have access to everything always. I think it was 2011 that they started doing same-day digital comics with print comics, and I remember at that point it was kind of, people were very doom and gloom that it was like, well, no one's gonna buy comics anymore. Like, it's just like comic book stores aren't gonna be a thing, no one's gonna collect physical media or like physical comic books anymore. But that was, I mean, I think 2016 was the best we were selling single issues, so that wasn't true then, so I don't know, you know, it kind of just seemingly goes in waves, but also I do think there's an element where like eventually everything ends, so yeah, I truly don't know. I do think there's something very specific about, and obviously again I'm very biased, but like coming in and seeing comic books and being able to flip through them, like that's a huge part of it. Like I don't know if you really get into or excited about comic books if you're never actually like looking at the racks and being able to like sample them and look at the art in person. I don't think it's something that you would stumble into otherwise. So I think there's always a role for comic book shops to play in terms of like someone discovering something and that feeling of like when you walk in, you don't know, you know, if you're looking for something, you don't know what you're gonna find. I think that only exists in spots like this still, like which kind of igniting that kind of like curiosity is kind of what we try to do. So for me, I feel like we're offering something that you can't get from experiencing it digitally. But again, that just might be my old antiquated way of thinking, and because that's the only way I've known how to get into comic books is through like, you know, seeing something on the rack and then being drawn to it in that way.
Without businesses like these, our generation's connection to physical media and like to communities would dwindle. Because I think we've been brought up in a culture that like leans towards convenience at every step of the way, and we've lost community in that sense. Like, yeah, you can Uber Eats your food, but like I'd rather go to the restaurant and like actually have a conversation with someone.
Dhanjal, it's okay if we could pause the music for just the time being?
My name is Daniel. Daniel.
Like, yeah. Like, yeah.
I have a friend, good friend of mine from a long time, who coined the phrase referring to me as not-stalgic. I guess it's the opposite of nostalgic.
Mm.
So I don't spend a lot of... Now, it seems really weird that someone who runs a video rental shop in 2025 is not a nostalgic person. But I don't consider it nostalgia because this never went away from me. This isn't something I came back to years later after realizing how much I missed it. I just never let it go in the first place. So yeah, I mean, this is all heartfelt. This is not something I do for money, if that wasn't obvious.
How long ago did you open the store again?
17 years ago.
Damn. 17
years. I thought I would be lucky to make it to the end of the first year, so I'm very happy to still be here. People get weird about format. Everyone wants the new thing. It's the new thing. It must be better because it's newer. It's got more pixels or whatever. None of this means anything to me. I just like hearing a good story, well told. That's what I want. So you can put as many pixels as you want. If you can't write a good story, then you don't have a good movie.
From that first year when people were telling you like this is not gonna go well, what do you think made this store like succeed?
Me?
Yeah, I guess you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm an idiot, and I run the store without making a profit.
Damn.
Which is counterintuitive to capitalism, but makes perfect sense to me. Whether my particular, tiny little business exists or not, physical media is still here. And, I can't take any responsibility in a large part for its longevity. But obviously there are still people who want to buy the thing and own it. So back in the day, you had hundreds of stores like this. And you had freedom of choice. You could go anywhere you wanted and buy a movie or rent a movie. And, you had different stores served different types of movies better. So you had independent stores that had all kinds of interesting underground and alternative films. You had Blockbuster, which was just throwing Disney movies at you, 20 million copies and stuff. But there was something for everybody, and there was freedom of choice, and there was, a level playing field. Everyone could get into the business, and if they wanted to, succeed on their own terms. But there's lots of great movies. All the time there's great movies. That's the wonderful thing about this, is that if you wait long enough, there'll be another good movie. Surprise, surprise. Even though most movies are shit now. Stop supporting the plutocracy with every transaction you make. Cash equals democracy. Debit and credit cards equal plutocracy.